This video is brought to you by Imprint. Today, Italy's far-right leader fights for his political survival, Moldova plans to cut its dependence on Russia, and Colombia cuts diplomatic relations with Israel. From TLDR News, this is your daily briefing for Thursday, the 2nd of May, 2024. The leader of Italy's far-right League party, Matteo Salvini, is fighting for his political survival after backlash following his choice of a homophobic pro-Russia candidate to lead the party's list of candidates for the EU parliamentary elections in June. Roberto Vannici, an Italian army general, was handpicked by Salvini, who has led the League since 2013, to stand for election in Italy's northwestern constituency. In a speech after the announcement, Vannici said he accepted, thinking of his daughters because he would, quote, like to guarantee them a Europe in which they can freely express their thoughts. However, Vannici is a highly controversial figure in Italy and was recently suspended from active duty after the publications of his book, The World Upside Down. In it, he describes the LGBT+ community as abnormal and calls feminists modern witches. Vannici has also drawn criticism for suggesting that a black athlete doesn't look Italian and that children with disabilities should be segregated in education away from other students. Salvini, meanwhile, is clinging on for his political life. After he took charge of the League in 2013, he led a successful drive in the south of Italy, pushing anti-migration and anti-EU policies, and managed to increase the party's vote share from 6% in the 2014 European elections to 34% in 2019. However, due to internal chaos and rising competition from Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni's Brothers of Italy party, the party's support base has dwindled in recent years. Discontent among its politicians has therefore grown too, with several party members having defected to both Brothers of Italy and the centre-right Forza Italia party, which is currently polling neck-and-neck with the League. According to political analysts, there could be further defections in the coming months too, after Salvini's latest decision to choose Vannici as a candidate. Moreover, if Salvini's League drops below Forza Italia after the June elections, the party could end up facing an existential crisis, which would be terrible news for Salvini but great for Meloni, who is hoping to cement both her domestic and growing European popularity, with a big win for her European conservatives and reformist bloc in June. There's more on the way, but remember to subscribe and ring the bell for more daily briefing tomorrow. Plus, if you want to support the channel like Loki Jones, then consider joining the new TLDR program for just $1.99. From Southern Europe to Eastern Europe now, where Moldova's efforts to integrate with Europe under their pro-EU president Maia Sandu now sees an opportunity to rid itself of Russian influence. For 3 decades, Russia has had its iron grip on the Moldovan eastern region along the Ukrainian border, Transnistria. It has been de facto independent from Moldova proper since the collapse of the Soviet Union. Whilst Russia doesn't actually recognize its independence, it maintains special relations with the region, and most importantly, provides Moldova with discounted Russian energy via Transnistria. In return, Russia gets strategic control over Transnistria, which hosts Russian troops. Now, however, the Moldovan Foreign Minister Mihai Popsoi told Politico that Moldova is no longer dependent on Transnistria for its energy. The EU has offset Moldova's costs of buying energy elsewhere and has worked to connect Moldova to Romania's energy supply, ultimately reducing Moldova's need to buy from Transnistria. However, cutting off its energy supply would disrupt Transnistria's industrial sector. Transnistria has already called on Russia for protection against the possible Moldovan economic blockade earlier in the year. Nevertheless, the Moldovan government is determined to cut their dependence on Russia, so it's likely tensions will be getting worse in the coming months. Make sure to subscribe to TLDR EU to stay updated. Yesterday, the Colombian president, Gustavo Petro, said that Colombia will be breaking diplomatic relations with Israel. In a speech in Bogota, speaking to crowds who marched to mark International Workers' Day, Petro said that his government will break relations with Israel for having a president who is genocidal. He added that countries cannot be passive in the face of the events unfolding in Gaza. Petro has already heavily criticized Israel over its attacks in Gaza, calling them a massacre of the Palestinian people on X. The Israeli foreign minister has in return accused Colombian president of being anti-Semitic and full of hate, and that Petro's move was a reward to Hamas. In Latin America, Bolivia broke relations with Israel at the end of October, whilst Chile and Honduras withdrew their ambassadors, and Belize suspended relations. Turkey, Jordan, Chad, and Bahrain have also withdrawn their ambassadors. South Africa has withdrawn its diplomats from Israel too. Moving to Scotland now, where uncertainty still exists following the announced resignation of First Minister Humza Yousaf. Yousaf has stated that he will remain in post until a successor is found. However, it is understood that the SNP will want to move quickly, as they're keen to avoid a fresh set of Scottish elections. As things stand at the time of writing, only one candidate has declared, John Swinney. It's worth noting, though, that Kate Forbes will likely launch her leadership bid soon too. Swinney has already served as leader of the SNP between 2000 and 2004, and has made clear in recent years that he is reluctant to enter back into public life. However, with the SNP and the Scottish government in chaos, it seems that Swinney has decided to put his hat in the ring. Having worked in a number of high-profile positions, Swinney is seen as a candidate who can command confidence from the various factions of his party. He's also seen as a man who might be able to secure the support of the Greens, something that's essential for the SNP to remain in office. Kate Forbes, on the other hand, might struggle to secure the confidence of the Greens. She's more socially conservative than the Greens, and in previous leadership elections, the Greens said that they would end their arrangement with the SNP if she became leader. We'll update you tomorrow if she does opt to stand for the leadership. In the final uplifting story today, we discuss the head of Pharaoh Ramses II. The statue was carved more than 3,400 years ago, and in recent times was part of a temple complex in Abydos in southern Egypt. The statue was stolen in around the late 1980s and early 1990s, something that was highlighted as somewhat of a persistent issue of antiquities theft in the country. However, it's been announced this week that the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities in Cairo have received the statue and are now in the process of restoring it. This came following the work of Swiss officials who were able to recover it from the antiquities and arts markets in Europe. Just like TLDR, Imprint is all about turning complex books and topics into something you can learn quickly, conveniently, and visually. It's super quick, with most lessons taking less than 2 minutes to complete, summarizing knowledge from all kinds of topics, using Harvard professors and best-selling authors to teach you key concepts. It's convenient because it's all housed in their easy-to-use mobile app, letting you replace doom scrolling whilst waiting for your train or coffee with actual learning. And it's visual because, well, just look at their app. If you've not used it before, you've likely never seen anything quite like it. Unlike traditional books, their animated explanations help you stay focused and understand concepts quickly and actually retain what you learn. So join the millions of users learning with Imprint, including me. I'm taking their course called The Order of Time right now. And you can do that using the link in the description. Plus, if you use that link, you get a free 7-day trial and get 20% off an annual plan when you sign up. Plus, they'll know you came from us. So check it out, support the channel, and thanks for watching TLDR.